A very disturbing footage collected of a recent crime where a cult took 4 women hostage for a diabolical ritual is etched into Captain Will Lauren's memories and haunts him. He was on the case and was able to save 3 out of 4 girls. He also gunned down the occult leader John Michael Malum. However, the guilt of not being able to save the 4th girl is too much for him. Something snaps and he shoots several fellow officers dead in cold blood before turning the gun on himself. 1 year later, Will's daughter, Jessica Lauren, joins the police force. Before her first shift, she goes to visit her father's grave where she meets her estranged alcoholic mother, Diane. The two have become distant after Will's death. Jessica makes her way to the Lanford station where her dad was posted before he died. Even though they have a new police station built, Jessica volunteered to serve the last shift as a one-woman force in the decommissioned police station. There, she meets Officer Grip Cohen, who briefs her about the station. He talks to her with animosity when he learns she is Will's daughter before leaving her alone for her shift. Jessica, however, has her reason to take this job. She is determined to find clues that would explain why her father went berserk. She visits the locker room and finds that only Will's locker has a lock. When she tries to open it, a sudden sound from behind stops her. She looks around and sees a silhouette of another police officer which vanishes upon switching on the lights. Just then, someone rings the bell, and Jessica returns to the front door to find a haggard-looking man leaning on the locked door. He asks where his baby girl is, and when Jessica doesn't answer, he relieves himself on the door and walks away. Jessica hears the phone ringing. She rushes to answer it, but it turns out to be a creepy call. Jessica phones the Lanford police station to report it and asks if they can trace the number. However, the operator, after learning that Jessica is Will's daughter, refuses to help, stating tracing prank calls is not their priority. Frustrated, she walks to the lockers and shoots the lock to break it. The seemingly empty locker has a hidden chamber underneath its floor. Jessica pulls back the thin plastic sheet and uncovers a box with files containing evidence related to the case. She hears grunting, and upon checking the CCTV, she finds someone has tied a huge pig outside the station. She calls the news station once again, and the operator asks her to leave the pig alone. However, Jessica is not one of those who listens, so she walks out and sees the pig is marked with a bloody satanic symbol that is made to wear a collar with the name Betty, which is the name of the 4th girl who couldn't be saved from the cult. Nevertheless, Jessica brings the pig inside and locks it in a room. The noises seem to follow her, and this time, upon investigating, she finds the haggard-looking man has somehow crept inside and is going through the evidence box. She approaches him cautiously with her taser. As he aggressively confronts her, she tasers him, handcuffs him, and leads him to a holding cell. However, he resists entering and falls, forcing Jessica to drag him inside. In the process, she accidentally lets the cell door shut, trapping them both. In the dim cell, Jessica uses her flashlight to monitor the man while attempting to call for help on her radio. Suddenly, the man lunges at her, causing her to drop her flashlight. Another unseen figure picks up the flashlight and shines it around, revealing the man now standing in the corner. Panicked, Jessica screams for help, and her terror peaks when 3 bodies suddenly drop from the ceiling, dangling in front of her. In a desperate frenzy, she pulls open the cell door, escapes, and quickly locks it behind her, securing the man inside. Shaken by what just happened, Jessica calls Captain Cohen and asks if he saw something that wasn't there since she witnessed him yelling at someone the moment she arrived. Captain Cohen asks if she went into the holdings and reprimands her for not listening to him. He explains the place has black mold, which makes one hallucinate, indirectly admitting that he did see someone. He angrily instructs her to focus on her duties before abruptly ending the call. Feeling isolated, Jessica returns to the evidence, retrieving a USB stick. Jessica walks to her car to get her laptop when she sees a car pull up and throw a woman out of it before speeding away. Jessica helps the woman and brings her inside to administer first aid. The woman reveals it's not her first time visiting that police station. She was there when the Malum cult members were brought in, and how they were bragging about the girl they sacrificed. What she says next baffles Jessica. The woman claims the 3 members hung themselves eerily similar to what Jessica saw. Freaked out, Jessica kicks her out of the station. Jessica again receives a threatening call from a woman claiming to have kidnapped the 3 girls that her father previously recused a year ago, demanding Jessica finish what her father started. Jessica immediately calls the news station and the operator confirms that the 3 girls are missing. Jessica checks out the USB and finds the disturbing footage of the Malum cult beating Betty to death to feed the demon, but halts it due to its disturbing nature. Just then, she gets a call from her mom, Diane, and while speaking to her, the video inexplicably resumes. Diane hears the video playing in the background and pleads with Jessica to stop watching it. It turns even creepier, showing cult members addressing Jessica directly and switching to a live feed of her in the room. Spooked, Jessica sees the evidence box thrown down in real time as she hears a corresponding thud, discovering a blood-written note saying, "Still here." She follows sounds to the shooting range when suddenly the targets start moving. One of the targets stops before her, and as soon as she detaches the target sheet, she sees an ungodly entity standing behind it. Jessica tries to escape, but finds all exits chained shut and calls the station for help, but the operator encourages her to stay. Watching further footage, Jessica sees Will interrogate John Malum and notices something sinister in the video that Will also saw. She hears someone call out and finally 2 officers, Price and his partner Hudson, show up. Jessica learns from Price about her father's obsession with the interrogation tape and his warnings about Malum still being there before his tragic end. Price then shows her the shotgun Will used. In a surreal turn, Officer Price morphs into a monstrous entity as Jessica hears a gunshot, transporting her back to a traumatic memory of Malum baptizing her with his blood. Her trance is broken when she hears the haggard man she put in the holding cell screaming for help, as Hudson is trying to shoot him. She frees him and he runs off. The man is on his way out when he hears his daughter Betty's voice coming from the lockup that has the pig in it. He opens the door and goes inside. Back in her office, Jessica is attacked by Betty's ghost with a deformed face and she is forced to shoot it. Just then, her mom Diane arrives and unlocks the main door as it is no longer chained shut. Upon questioning, she confesses her involvement with the cult, but ran away from them when Jessica was just a baby as it was misled by Malum. They hear screams and Jessica instructs Diane to stay in the office. Jessica confronts a woman holding a hostage at gunpoint, claiming the devil's interest in Jessica. The woman kills the hostage and Jessica fatally shoots the woman. Suddenly, cult members swarm, forcing Jessica to barricade herself in her office where she discovers her mother is missing. She gets a call again, and the operator tells her the flock is planning a raid on the police station, and Jessica confirms they are there. The operator asks if Diane is doing all right. Jessica gets suspicious and asks how the operator knew that Diane was there. It is revealed the operator is none other than Malum, who has been talking to her despite the telephone lines being severed. He ominously predicts the low god's arrival. Jessica goes looking for her mother. Along the way, she uncovers that the responding officers, Hudson and Price, are imposters. She narrowly escapes gunfire and subdues 2 cult members. They have brought the 3 kidnapped girls to the station and are killing them one by one to finish what Malum started a year ago. Jessica tries to save the last girl, but she is strung up by wire that is getting tighter by the second. Her eye pops out before her head severs, and it leads to a blood confetti that covers Jessica from head to toe. Jessica feels defeated, but then she hears Diane call for help, which fills her with determination. Jessica goes straight to the locker to get her dad's shotgun. She follows the voices and sees entities with glowing eyes who don't look human anymore. One of them points to a room. Jessica walks in to find a throne and someone wearing a sack on his face sitting on it. She removes the cover and is shocked to see Malum, but in a demonic form. She turns and finds herself surrounded by dead people. They chant that her spirit will feed the demon. A grotesque-looking demon soon appears and starts walking towards her. She shoots him with the shotgun, but nothing happens. The demon detaches his face and it latches onto Jessica's face, transporting her back into the holding where he torments her. When she is finally able to take a shot at him, she snaps out of the trance and realizes she shot her mother. Diane soon passes away and all of the ghosts surround her, laughing and mocking her. Malum walks near her ear and whispers as Jessica realizes the same thing happened to her dad. She laughs before picking up her gun and shooting herself in the head. The ghosts pull Jessica's body and make her sit on a throne next to Malum's. He finally has his queen as Jessica suddenly wakes up and screams. That wraps up today's horror recap of the movie Malum. Hit the subscribe button if you love being scared out of your wits, as we offer only the scariest recaps.